Chapter 1. Rumors and Encounters. Is it true? How do you know Qixia is still a virgin? You're new here, of course you wouldn't know. It's no secret in our company that she's still a virgin. As soon as Qixia walked into the restroom, she overheard this explosive conversation. Do you think she's this old and still single because no one wants her or because she has issues? Xia's eyebrow twitched. 24 years old. Is that considered old? Another person disdainfully said, I heard she's been going on blind dates lately, desperate to get married. But honestly, who would dare to marry a woman like her? There's gossip.
Come on, spill it.
What's wrong with her? Well, I heard she lost her parents when she was young and spent some time in an orphanage before her aunt took her in. Women from such backgrounds are rarely normal. She might even be a psychopath, not liking men or women. Xiaoxi, you better be careful. She's been getting close to you lately. Maybe she's interested in you. Ugh, no way. That's disgusting. The two gossipers in the stall simultaneously exclaimed, so disgusting, unaware that the subject of their gossip was clenching her teeth in anger. She was just being friendly to the new colleague. Where did they get the idea she was so creepy? These women must be bored out of their minds. Luo Shi and Chenli walked out of the restroom, still mocking Qixia, only to look up and see her standing there, arms crossed, smiling brightly at them.
Kaya.
Xia's smile was dazzling. Oh, what a coincidence to see you here. Why yeah, we were just leaving. Qixia waved cheerfully. Take care. As soon as she spoke, there were two loud thuds as Luo Shi and Chenli, in their high heels, slipped and fell hard on the floor. Chunli screamed in pain, not caring about her image. Who the hell poured soap on the bathroom floor? Oh dear, are you okay? I told you to take it slow. See, now you've fallen. Qixia looked down at the struggling pair, coldly adding, when you walk too fast, you might trip. Similarly, when you talk too much, you might bite your tongue. She just didn't want to date or get married. Why did it bother them so much that they had to slander her like that? Feeling frustrated, Qixia sat at the bar, randomly picked up a glass, and took a few sips. Her head began to spin, and she remembered she couldn't handle alcohol at all. Her aunt had always forbidden her to drink since she was a child. But today, in her frustration, she forgot all about it. Her head grew heavier, and the figures in front of her blurred. She wanted to call her best friend but couldn't find her bag. Oh right, she left her bag in the private room at the gathering. Qixia wobbled to her feet and staggered towards the room, tripping and falling onto the cold floor. Her butt hurt. Qixia frowned, looking at the many blurry heads around her, and began counting with a giggle. 1 head, 2 heads, 3 heads. Helian Chang walked into the hall and immediately saw Qixia sitting on the floor. She was completely drunk, oblivious to how seductive she looked at that moment. Her long black hair was tied up, exposing her elegant, fair neck. Her body leaned forward slightly, the soft curves accentuated by her dress, and a deep cleavage inviting endless fantasies. She squinted her eyes slightly, unconsciously licking her dry lips, exuding an alluring charm. But Helian Chang was not interested. He averted his gaze and sat at the bar. The bartender quickly served him a drink. Helian Chang took a sip, and an uninvited guest took the seat next to him. Why are you drinking alone? Weren't you planning to propose to Su Shiya? Helian Chang glanced at his unruly friend, Xiao Jinhang, who was also the bar's owner. She refused. Why? Did she fall for someone else? Helian Chang glared at him. Why not believe that I changed my mind? Xiao Jinheng shrugged. Believing that you'd change your mind is as likely as believing in the end of the world tomorrow. You, a one-track-minded guy, change your mind? Impossible. Helian Chung sneered. Even you don't believe I'd change my mind. No wonder she was so sure I'd wait for her. Wait for her? Helian Chung ordered another drink. The Royal Ballet invited her to England. She told me at the last minute before the flight and asked me to wait for 5 years. Helian Chung looked at Xiao Jinheng, his gaze sharp and cold, but Xiao Jinheng saw a hint of heartache. Helian Chung and Su Shiya were childhood sweethearts, officially dating for over a year. Xiao Jinheng knew his friend had meticulously planned his proposal, only to be told she was leaving the country. Forget about her. Let's drink. We haven't had a good time getting drunk in ages. Xiao Jinheng signaled the bartender to bring out a bottle of his finest wine. Helian Cheng raised his glass and downed it in one go. Xiao Jinheng patted his shoulder. Drinks and beauties, that's the way to go. See that woman? Pretty, right? Interested? Helian Cheng followed his gaze and saw Qi Xia, who had been helped onto a sofa by a man who was now grinning lecherously. Helian Cheng frowned. I'm not interested in anyone other than Xia. Xiao Jinheng eyed him mischievously. Xia's in England for 5 years. You're going to be celibate for 5 years? Can you hold out, and can it hold out? Helian Cheng frowned and was about to retort when he heard a slap. He turned to see Qi Xia, wobbling, standing up and slapping the man. Bastard, groping me. Xiao Jinheng laughed. I thought she was a little lamb. Turns out she's a wildcat. Interesting. Helian Cheng indifferently turned away, uninterested. Xiao Jinheng had planned to entertain him and ease his gloom, but seeing his friend's lack of interest, he lost enthusiasm. Watching the drunk and disoriented Qi Xia stumble through the crowd, he suddenly had a brilliant idea. Helian Cheng was drunk after just a few drinks, so Xiao Jinheng had him sent to the VIP room. Xiao Jinheng found Qi Xia in a corner, nursing a headache, and politely smiled. Miss, our bar selects a lucky guest each night to enjoy our complimentary room service. Congratulations on being tonight's lucky guest. Qi Xia blinked. Thanks, but no thanks. My friends are in room 118. I need to find them. I think, given your current state, it would be better to rest first before joining your friends. All right, could you let my colleagues know? Xiao Jinheng agreed and handed her the VIP room key. Beautiful lady, have a pleasant night. Thank you. Qi Xia found the room, used the key card, and entered. The lights seemed to be broken. No matter how much she tried, they wouldn't turn on. Oh well, since she won the room, there was no need to complain. She stumbled forward, removed her shoes, and jumped onto the bed. Instead of landing on a soft mattress, she touched something warm and hard. What was this? Qi Xia touched it again. It seemed like a chest with 2 small protrusions. Startled, she jumped off the bed. Oh my God, there was a man in the bed. The bar service was too thorough, even providing a gigolo for the winner. But she didn't need one. Not at all. Qi Xia reached the door but stopped. In her disheveled state, returning to the private room would only invite ridicule. Maybe she could just spend the night here. She could sleep on the sofa. Using the moonlight, she found the phone and whispered a call home. Aunt, it's Xia. I'm staying at Ruxin's place tonight. Don't wait up. Xia, your Auntly has introduced you to someone. Meet him tomorrow at the usual place. Don't be late. Qi Xia massaged her temples. Aunt, I've told you many times, I don't want to go on blind dates or get married. Stop pushing me. That won't do. For a woman, family is most important. Look at you, you're not getting any younger. You should start dating. If your mom were still here, she'd want to see you married with children. All right. I have to sleep now, early morning tomorrow. Don't forget to meet him at noon. Got it. Qi Xia hastily hung up. A blind date? No way. Blind dates lead to marriage and children, but she had no interest in marriage. As for having children, that was worth considering. She thought of the adorable chubby cheeks of Ruxin's baby. Every time she saw the baby's smiling face, her mood lifted. A bold idea suddenly struck Qi Xia. Why not have a child? The more she thought about it, the more feasible it seemed. Checking her calendar, she realized she was in her fertile period. And there was a man right here, though she couldn't see his face. Being a gigolo, he probably looked decent enough. Perfect timing. Qi Xia freshened up, then climbed onto the oversized bed, straddling Helian Cheng. The man beneath her seemed uncomfortable, groaning slightly. Qi Xia clasped her hands together, whispering, Sir, I just want to borrow your jeans. I promise I won't cause you any trouble. My family will be grateful for your generosity. She untied his robe, the fabric parting to reveal a muscular chest in the dim moonlight. Her hands trembled as they touched his chest, feeling the heat. Qixia's heart raced. In 24 years, this was her first intimate encounter with a man. Despite her mental preparation, she couldn't help feeling nervous. What next? Undress herself? She wished she had watched more adult films for guidance. Despite her boldness, this being her first experience made Qixia's face flush with embarrassment. Taking a deep breath, she leaned down, kissing Helian Cheng's lips while her hands roamed his chest. Her kisses were urgent and chaotic, trailing from his cheek to his neck, his collarbone, and his chest. She felt him stiffening beneath her, pressing against her abdomen, her heartbeat quickening.
Here,
The drunk man frowned, the tension and heat in his body making him groan, dissatisfied with her teasing. With a swift move, he flipped her beneath him. He kissed her soft lips, the sensation igniting a fire in his belly. Tia, I love you. Please. In his drunken state, Helian Chung bit her earlobe gently, one hand caressing her softness, the other sliding between her legs. Qixia knew he mistook her for someone else, biting her lip to suppress her shameful sounds, trembling with his touch. His hot hand moved between her legs, sending electric shocks through her body, making her shiver and clench her legs, a tingly sensation spreading from below. His body tensed, on the verge of explosion, but he hesitated, waiting for her response. She was moved by his devotion to this Xia girl. Would he be sad tomorrow if he found out he had slept with a stranger? Oh well, he's a gigolo. This is his job. Why worry? Qixia wrapped her arms around his neck, pulling him closer, clearly answering, yes. Helian Chung held her tightly, almost merging her into his body, his lips and tongue entwining with hers again. But despite several attempts, he couldn't enter her. Sweat drenched his hair, his body burning, reaching its limit. Qixia realized he couldn't find the way. Was he a virgin too? She shook off the absurd thought and, fighting her embarrassment, guided him in. With a sudden thrust, Helian Chung entered her, making Qixia bite his shoulder in pain. He bit her earlobe, whispering, Xia, I love you. Don't leave me. The tearing pain made Qixia bite his shoulder. Damn, it hurt. Helian Cheng's movements shifted from gentle to wild, their mingled breaths and moans creating a symphony of passion. Qixia had never known such exhaustion from this act, not understanding his strength until he finally released her at dawn. Ignoring her fatigue, Qixia waited for him to sleep before examining him. This was her first time seeing such a handsome man. His chest was firm with no excess fat, his facial features well-defined. A high nose and slightly pursed lips added to his charm. Even seeing his profile quickened her heartbeat. She could only imagine how stunning he'd be when awake. But regardless of his looks, there would be no further contact. He was just a sperm donor. Scattered clothes littered the floor. Qixia picked them up, enduring the pain to clean up. Her neck and chest were covered in kiss marks. How would she explain this? She groaned, noticing a suit jacket on the sofa. It must be his. Sorry, I'll borrow this. I didn't bring my wallet, so I can't tip you. But I'll return the jacket and tip in a few days. Qixia put on the jacket, covering the marks, and sneaked out. At the front desk, she retrieved her bag and, ignoring the curious stares, ran out of the hotel.